Hey, so this is the harsh truth about Etsy. Just checking to make sure my audio is working. There's 5 things that I wanted to cover today. Because a lot of people are struggling with Etsy to get their shops up and running successfully. Getting it up and running is easy. Getting sales is hard. So I'm going to go through 5 things real quick today to show you what I think is the harsh truth about it. And it starts with YouTube. So if you go here and you type in Etsy, you're going to get a whole bunch of results from a whole bunch of people. And basically all these people just see videos from other Etsy YouTubers, and then they copy it and they put their own spin on it, and then they copy it and put their own spin. And it's all a bunch of information just regurgitated back and forth. But most of the videos really don't offer anything of value. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that are doing these videos aren't really qualified to do them. Honestly, I'm sorry, but they're not. I mean, they had a little success with Etsy, and there are exceptions to the rules, but most of them have a little bit of success, and then they're like, okay, now I'm going to start my channel, and now I'm going to teach people how to do this, and then I'm going to sell a course, and then I'm going to sell some coaching and all this stuff, but they're really not ready yet, because you'll find some of the ones that you follow, you just don't go anywhere when you follow them. It's like, okay, that's great, but now what? And I think there's an attraction to creating a YouTube channel, and I think a lot of them are using Etsy as the way, but I don't know if that's the best route. Now, I use Etsy too as the way, so maybe I'm hypocritical in saying that, but I think not all these people, but a lot of these people aren't qualified to be teaching anything. So I'm just going to leave it at that. There are some that are really good and they are qualified, but you got to sift through the ones that are good and the ones that aren't to find the best ones. And I think that's really hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, that maybe somebody you've been following for a while and trying to implement what they're teaching, but then you realize they're not really teaching anything. So it's kind of hard. Anyway, the second thing is competition. It is fierce. So if you go here and you go, how many sellers are on Etsy? It's like 4.5 million last time I checked, but let's check this. 2.1, that's old. Key figures 29, 2.1. So what happened? Oh boy, there's one. Whew. Etsy had 7.5 million active sellers on its platform, a 74% increase on the previous year. It's 7.5 million now? Wow. I thought it was 4.5. Last reported 2022 Q3 was 5.3 million. Anyway, what that means is, I think when the pandemic happened, a lot of people decided, I need something to do, I'm bored. So they opened up an Etsy shop and they're like, all right, now I'm going to make money. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be able to retire. I'm going to never go back to my job. And there's a lot of competition. I think there's like 93 million buyers. And according to this, which is shocking to me, 7.5 million sellers. That's a lot. That means there's a lot of people selling a lot of the same products on there, and your competition is massive. Now, that is a harsh truth, but at the same time, I think that's a good thing, because if there's a lot of people on there selling, typically that happens because a lot of people are making a lot of money. So you could take that and turn that actually into a positive. All right, the third thing is this. It is basically, it's a race to the bottom on pricing. You know, like Amazon over the years, you go on there and you're like, okay, I want a funny t-shirt. So I'll type that in. And then you get the results. Then you look here and you're like, $7.38, $8.99, $12.97, $9.10, $14.32. That's actually pretty cool. I might buy that. Wow, I'm just gonna open that up. That's pretty, if you can save me time. Anyway, I'm gonna leave that open another tab. 23 bucks, well there's a real one, $19.99. So it's a race to the bottom. And what happens when a couple sellers start pricing things really low, then everybody else jumps on board and they're like, well, I have to compete, so I have to cut my prices too. Otherwise I'll never be able to compete with them. And it's like, yes, that's one segment of the population. I know for me personally, when I see something like this one at $8.99, I'm like, if I open it up, I know what they did. When you go to the style, you look down here and you see it's a onesie for a 3 to 6 month year old. That's $8.99. If I want to buy that t-shirt, which they're advertising, and I'm like a 3XL, that's $19.99. So that's like more than a $10 difference from what is shown on the result page to what actually happens. Now this is the Etsy pricing hack, which I have another video on as well. But it really is a race to the bottom. Even at $19.99 for like a 3XL, or $17.99 for a 2XL, or $16.79 for an XL, you're not leaving much on the table after that. The profit margin, now this calculator from Everbee, it's good, but sometimes it's off. Like it's saying the cost of goods sold is $360, which is not accurate. It's more like $8-9. So at this price, at $14.99, which you're showing there, the person is actually losing money. So I don't know how these sellers are selling t-shirts for so cheap, but they're not making much doing it. And I don't know if it just becomes an ego thing, where they're like, I just need to get sales, I'll get them however I want, even if I'm not making any money. But at some point, I almost wish that Etsy would say, okay, an XL t-shirt, that is $24.99 minimum. That's the minimum price you can put for that. Double XL, okay, $27.99. That's the minimum price. And then everybody on the platform has to sell it for that. I think that would help sellers tremendously. They'll never do it, but it would help big time if Etsy would put in some minimums so that the race to the bottom isn't allowed to happen, because the race to the bottom just leads to people starting up a shop, getting going, and then they realize that they're actually losing money or making like 50 cents for every sale. And then they're like, I'm out of here. So I think the churn rate on Etsy shops is actually pretty high. So even though it's 7.5 million, according to that, I think they don't have many people that stick around very long because there's not enough money being made. So how do you counter that? I think you got to have like unique products, right? To avoid the race to the bottom in pricing. Now, even then you might get undercut. But anyway, on to the fourth thing. That is new shops on Etsy just do not get any attention at all. And I'll show you one. This is mine. So I just opened up this shop like a week and a half ago. So I've got 21 views and 10 visits. No sales yet. That's it. Like that is, you know, Etsy's telling me they have 93 million buyers and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. And now, mind you, I only have 10 products on the shop right now. It will grow and grow and grow. But at this point, I think people that are coming in here and thinking, I can just open a shop, and as long as I list a lot of products, I will get sales and it will work and I'll be successful and this is going to be awesome. And people come in all gung-ho. And the bottom line is, if you're not making them money, they're not going to give you any traffic. And the traffic comes from here. So if somebody goes and types in funny t-shirt, now those top 3-4 are ads, but right here, these are actual organic listings. And you can see it's $14.32. This one is popular, ship right now. Cat playing guitar shirt. That's kind of cool. But they're mixing in bundles of designs as well. But in order to even get shown here, so let's take, this is basically the top organic result. If I open this one up, and it is selling with a body like this, who needs hair? So 446 reviews, holy crap. So if I do my little guesstimate here, and I say, okay, there's 446 reviews, let's say maybe 15% actually left a review, 2,900 sales times 1432. The revenue on that's about 42,570, meaning that's a pretty cool shirt. So it does work. This is not a new shop though. That was my point. New shops don't get attention, old shops do. So this guy at eBolo has 170,036 sales on the shop. So if I go here and look at the shop, yeah, Best Funny Soft T-shirts, Family Shirts, LA, eBolo T-shirt company. He is a star seller, or he or she. That's neat. They just put their name there too. So they have 690 t-shirts on here. And they're priced at a point where I just don't get it. Like, I don't know how they're making money, honestly, at $14.32. But they do have a ton of sales, so maybe it's a volume thing. I mean, if you have 170,000 sales, and you're making even like, I don't know, let's go like this. Let's say a $2.50 profit at the end of the day after all the fees and everything. 425,000, that's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. So, this shop with that many sales is getting more attention than my shop with 10 products and like no sales. So, how do you even get those sales? Well, you have to go out and you have to hustle and you have to get them. You have to make good products, you have to be priced competitively, and you have to cross your fingers and hope. I think this leads to the fifth harsh truth about Etsy, and that is, it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. In fact, out of all the shops I've launched, and I started my first one in like 2016, and it took at least a year to start getting real serious traction on it. So if you're coming into this Etsy game and you're thinking, I'm gonna launch this, and then like within a couple weeks I'm gonna be selling like crazy, and I'm gonna do really well, and I'm gonna have consistent monthly income, like not just like a Christmas run up where you do really well and then it drops off, but consistent monthly income, it's gonna take a year minimum. So that is a harsh truth. I know that's kind of a downer, but nobody tells you that. You come in and you go to like YouTube and then you buy one of their courses and then you try it and you do it for like a month and then you're not getting much, so you quit. Or you're like, no, I know it takes time. I'm gonna give it 2 months. So you do that and you're not getting much, so you quit. Or you go, okay, I'm different. I'm gonna go 3 months. You do that, you're not getting much, so you quit. I'm telling you right now, it's about a year on average. There are exceptions, of course, but if you're not gonna give it a year to go, you're not gonna make it. So what can you do to avoid these harsh realities? Well, I think be unique is number one. Be first to market with unique products. That's going to help you out tremendously. Sell more than one product type. So like this is a t-shirt shop and they're doing well, but they started years ago. So I think I can even find the date on this. If I go to product analytics, let me go to their top seller here. All right, let's go by well, let's just go by product analytics. I want to see how old this store is. If I go all the way over here, shop age, 160 months. 160 months divided by 12. 13 years. This shop is 13 years old. So they did not get there over, did I do that right? 160 months? Yeah. 160. Oops. 60 divided by 12, 13.3 years. So that is not a new shop, and they've been at it forever, and they started way back when, and now they're having success. But that's a lot more than a year. So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying if you're going to do it, go into it knowing the reality of it. And the reality is it's not all awesome good times. In fact, it's a lot of boring work, and it's a lot of frustrating time, and you're going to have times where you want to quit, and that's the reality of Etsy. So if you want to do it, you certainly can. Just go into it without blinders on, and then you're going to feel better about it. I know this video is a little bit different than everything else out there, but I've been teaching people since 2007 personally, so I've been around the block multiple times. I've had businesses fail. I've launched successful businesses. I know what it takes to make it, and I know that a lot of what you're being fed is BS. So that needs to be cleared up, and I hope this video does clear it up and get you on the right track, in the right mindset. Let me know in the comments what you think. Does it take a year? Have you done it in less? Have you done it at all? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.